This is for you, Tom Moran. In today's video, I'm rehousing Phormictopus species green femur. Hello everybody, welcome to this latest episode. I am your host Robbie and this is Robbie's Talking Teas, tarantula content for tarantula lovers just like yourselves. In today's video I'm going to be rehousing my Phormictopus species South Hispaniola, also known as the green femur, and giving you some care and husbandry information on the species. But before we get into that, I'm going to set you a little challenge. Smash that like button. Let's see if we can get 100 likes on this video. Now let's show you the rehousing, shall we? So here we go with the rehouse. We are rehousing this juvenile Phormictopus species South Hispaniola, also known as the green femur, into this awesome little Komodo enclosure. Now, before I had a Monocentropus balfouri communal in here, 5 of them, but I've recently moved those 5 into an existing 5 that I had, making the communal a 10 communal. So now we've got this enclosure free in order to rehouse the Phormictopus in there. Now, this is the setup I'm going for. The substrate is my own mix. This is cocoa fibre mixed with topsoil, as well as small little pieces of vermiculite, just so that any humidity can sink through, because even though these do like it dry, I like the moisture to get to the bottom of the substrate, so when this digs, it can find the right humidity and the right moisture levels that it needs. In the back of here we have got some sphagnum, we've got some fake plants, and we've also got the number one component in any enclosure, a water dish. If you're not putting water dishes in your enclosures, you're doing something wrong. So let's take a quick look at this species before we stick it in the new enclosure. So here it is, Phormictopus species South Hispaniola, also known as Phormictopus green femur. Now look at the stunning colours on that already. Now I think this one is in pre-molt. I haven't sexed it yet. Been really chill actually. This one's normally very feisty and skittish, and when I open the lid it bolts around the enclosure. But as you can see, this enclosure, it had a nice hide in it, it's dug it up, it's thrown everything around, it's a little bulldozer. So I decided, now I've got the new enclosure ready for a new species. I was watching Tom Moran's videos the other day about Phormictopus species, and I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a video just for him, and I'm going to rehouse this little guy or girl into that new enclosure. So let's get that underway. This isn't going to be a long video, because all I hopefully have to do is just usher it into its new enclosure. But first I'm going to take out these little bits of cork bark. You can let that go, mate. Just makes it easier to pop this little guy or girl, I haven't sexed it yet, into the new enclosure. How gorgeous is that? Take a look at that. Look at the colours. Let's get a bit more light just so you can see. How gorgeous is that? You can start to see the pinks coming through on the carapace. The legs are nice and dark. As you can see from the abdomen, it does look like it's going into pre-molt. Now this did refuse food on Monday, which is another good sign that this guy is going into pre-molt. How awesome is that? Now, temperament wise on Phormictopus, you do need to be a little bit careful, because even though most of mine are quite docile and quite calm, there are some out there that will readily throw up threat postures and kick hair and just genuinely give you a nightmare. My Phormictopus cancerides is like that. She's very highly strung, and that's said for a lot of cancerides out there. A lot of people report that there's a very feisty and very fiery, but this one on the other hand tends to be quite calm, and it's only when you first open the enclosure does it skit about. Once it calms down and it's like this one's no hassle whatsoever. But take that with a pinch of salt, because all specimens can be different. Feeding wise, at this size, I like to feed this every other day. So my feeding schedule is now Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. Now I'll feed it a large cricket or a Morio worm at this size. The thing I love about Phormictopus is these can take down considerably large prey. They're very, very voracious eaters, and it doesn't matter what you pop in there, they're going to pounce on it, take it down, and they will eat it. So if you're just getting into Phormictopus, there's something that you're going to enjoy, is a great feeding response. Growth rate wise, these guys are awesome. These are one of the many species that after a molt they do put on a lot of size. So if you want a spider in your collection that is going to grow quickly and you're going to have a nice big spider by the time it's a juvenile or a sub-adult, definitely look into Phormictopus. But I wouldn't recommend them for beginners, obviously, because they can be very temperamental. So you may want to start off with the beginner species that I did in a video previously. I'll put a link up in the top corner so you can check that out if you would like to know what beginner species I think are best for you. Now, temperature wise, I keep the tarantula room at 24 degrees during the day and let it drop down to 18 degrees at night. So there's like a temperature fluctuation, but that's just something I do. And I found that these guys don't seem to mind that temperature change. I know some people like to keep these higher, but keep in mind, the higher you keep the temperature, the faster their metabolism is, and you will see them go into pre-molt and grow much, much faster. I keep stumbling on my words today. I don't know if it's because it's early, I don't know if I'm tired, but hopefully you guys you don't mind. You just came here, you want to see this in the new enclosure. So let's do it. So here's the new enclosure. This should be very straightforward. This one's being very, very, very well behaved. All I'm going to do is pop this down and just gently coax it into its new enclosure. Now please be aware that these can put on speed when they need to. So they can be very flighty, so be careful when you're rehousing. And there he or she is in the new enclosure. Now it's not going to like me again because I need to fill this water dish up. So hopefully it doesn't spaz out. This could be a very bad idea, but sorry. You need water, buddy. No, don't climb out. What are you doing on the glass? Come on. What are you doing? You've got all that space in there and you're just climbing on the glass. And there it is, exploring its new enclosure. You can definitely see that pre-molt booty. It's definitely getting dark. Such a gorgeous species. Actually see purple tones on the femur. So on that note, let's leave you with a little montage of footage of this gorgeous species of tarantula, and then we'll wind it down into the end of this video. So there we have it. This rehouse is all done and dusted. Now I was lucky that this specimen was very calm and collected during the rehouse, which is really nice to have during the rehousing process. But take into consideration, if you're dealing with Phormictopus, some can be very feisty and they're very quick to throw up a fret posture, kick some hairs and give you a little bit of aggravation. But if you take your time and you're calm and collected, you should get through it no matter what very easily. Now this is the end of the video, but before we go I want to take the time to remind you guys about the 2,000 subscriber giveaway we're doing on the channel. At 2,000 subscribers I'm giving one of you the chance to win 3 months free subscription to Creature Crate. Now if that's something you're interested in, now's the chance to hit that subscribe button and you'll be entered. But now all that's been said, hopefully you've done that. This is the end. I'll see you in the next one.